Hey, good morning. Welcome back, everyone. It is Laura, and we are going to talk about these energies coming through for the collective today. We've got some pretty intense, unpredictable energies playing out this week. I want to say according to divine timing, but let's talk about the current transits happening up in the cosmos, because today in the astrology, we do have the moon in Aquarius forming a trine to Jupiter in Gemini, and this just feels so expansive when it comes to emotional awareness. There could be intellectual breakthroughs. I just feel this very light-hearted energy, but I do feel this is a very profound shift, and we got to remember Aquarian energy kind of brings with it this sense of emotional detachment. And so we kind of got to be a little bit objective, because these energies are pushing us, right? These energies are amplified, they're pushing us. And I do feel there's going to be a lot of mental exploration in the energies today, and there might even be a need for communication. And so there is this major opportunity, I want to say, for intuitive downloads, receiving epiphanies even, and just being optimistic when it comes to problem solving. And so what really kind of alarmed me, though, was being shown the energy of the devil card with the High Priestess. And so we got Capricorn energy, and we've got moon energy coming through. We've got Pisces energy coming through. And so there's something here deep, dark, hidden in the subconscious. And I do feel somebody here has a divine knowing. This can be secrets coming to light. There could be a detachment coming through today connected to limiting beliefs, but I do feel there's a need to kind of see beyond the illusions, right? And there's a lot of illusions. The devil wants to keep us in that mental loop, in that fear-based thinking. And I just want to say, oh, this High Priestess energy, she's reminding us all, trust your intuition, okay? Trust that intuition. Trust this spiritual expansion that is going on all around us. But before I go any further with the tarot and the oracle cards, if you are feeling called to understand your soul's blueprint a little bit better through astrology, comment down below. I've got a free guide for you to decode your birth chart, the basics of the birth chart. So just comment down below, free guide, and I will send that your way, and you can start digging into understanding your birth chart and these placements a little bit better. But let's dig in and let's pull in with some oracle and some tarot messages, and let's see what needs to come through for the collective today. What a powerful spread of energies today. This message is loud. It definitely is speaking of a powerful awakening taking place, one filled with wisdom, divine knowledge. So let's talk about these oracle cards that came out. The first card out is the Thoth Light Code. And so this is speaking of an initiation, a light body initiation. This is also the card of a great teacher awakening, and it is all about divine magic. And so there is a powerful awakening here. Let's talk about Thoth a little bit. He is an Egyptian god. He's the Egyptian god of wisdom, writing, and divine magic. And so this does represent an energy of sacred teachings. There is intellectual expansion, and this ties deeply into that Aquarius Gemini trine between the moon and Jupiter. And so there is some knowledge, some intellect, and some communication coming through. I also feel this deep spiritual understanding. And so with this card appearing as the first card out, I just want to say you are receiving direct transmissions of light codes in these energies. And I like to call those spiritual downloads, right? And these are downloads that expand your consciousness. And so this could manifest as sudden insights. This could manifest as a strong pull towards esoteric studies, or even just recognizing yourself as a teacher and wisdom keeper for others. And I do think that's strongly connected to that Gemini energy. And so with the Aquarius and Gemini energies and air signs, this is associated with knowledge, right? And so I do feel this aligns with that transit today, definitely encouraging downloads, cosmic wisdom, maybe even an expanded perception of your reality, right? And I do feel maybe there could be some type of mental entrapment here too, right? I do feel that, especially with that third eye vision of the devil and the High Priestess. And as we see here, the High Priestess card did come out. She came out in reverse, but let's talk about this second card that came out, because we do have the halls of learning here. And so this is speaking of spirit guides, confirmation, a great lesson. I want to say, welcome to the halls of fame is really what I want to say. I'm hearing that song, something about the halls of fame. If you know the song, put it down in the comments below. But I feel this is just the confirmation that you've been looking for from the universe. This is the confirmation that you are on a destined spiritual path of learning. And so the halls of learning, I want to say this is a symbolized energy of tapping into the higher realms, tapping into maybe an understanding of soul contracts, wisdom, guidance that is stored in the Akashic records, because we do get the Akashic records down here. And so you are being reminded you are never alone on this journey. You have spirit guides, you have ancestors, you have teachers guiding you in that unseen world, and they are always there to assist you. And so I do think there is like a spirit guide here encouraging you to go through this mental expansion. I do think there's a tapping into the higher realms for sure. And the Akashic records are speaking of clearing an old story. Maybe you are releasing past life energy, past lives, or a divine karmic lesson, but I do feel freedom, right? There is this ethereal library of Akashic records, and this ethereal library holds every soul's journey across every single lifetime. And so there is some major karmic clearing going on here. I want to say a reset of some old patterns, and maybe even you recognizing your ability to free yourself from any limiting past life cycles here. And so I don't know if you're releasing some deep-seated fears, or you're breaking a soul contract here that is just no longer serving you, or maybe you're just remembering some past life wisdom in order to move forward here. But I do feel there's a direct link here to that High Priestess energy, that somebody is receiving wisdom. I think somebody here is receiving wisdom connected to a past life. And maybe this is connected to your present situation, your present choices. But I feel there's a pattern here. There's a pattern here. And then on the bottom of the deck, we get this beautiful card here of the Soul Star activation. And so the Soul Star chakra is the chakra that is located right above the crown chakra. Did you know that? Did you know you had a higher chakra than that crown chakra? And so the Soul Star chakra is where you connect to your soul's purpose. This is where you hold your karmic contracts, your spiritual contracts. This is where your cosmic mission resides, is at that Soul Star chakra, right? And so there is like a deep remembrance, I want to say, of your divine origin coming through. I don't know if you're stepping into your true power and your purpose, but I want to say there is a current experience here that is helping you fulfill some type of soul agreement. And I just feel whether it's a relationship or just a period of personal growth and spiritual evolution, this card here is a reminder to remember who you truly are, right? There's this energy here, I feel, of being a keeper of ancient wisdom. And maybe you are finally unlocking that. Maybe you are unlocking that within yourself. And so what I want to say is there is a massive spiritual activation happening, spiritual awakening happening in the energies connected to this message. And so I think somebody here is being initiated into some higher wisdom. I think there is direct support from some spirit guides in the higher realms. And I think there's some type of past life karma here that is being rewritten, connected to your soul's story, connected to the Akashic records. And maybe you are breaking free from any lingering limitations here. But I do feel somebody is getting ready to actively step into their purpose here. And I do think with the expansive energy of the moon in Aquarius trying Jupiter and Gemini, this is like a realization of some sort. I don't know what's going on here, but we're going to break it down with this tarot spread because there is a major theme of awakening and breaking free from an illusion here connected to this spread. And so let's talk about this top row. We get the High Priestess in reversed on the top row. We get the Judgment card in reversed, and we get that Eight of Swords in reverse. Can we scream, break them free? I do feel there could be some blocked intuition here, or even this energy of ignoring your inner knowing. There is almost this sense of spiritual disconnection coming through with the High Priestess reversed. And I do feel with the Judgment reverse, I do feel fear of the awakening process, or there could even be avoidance of the spiritual calling coming through. And I do think somebody here is probably repeating past mistakes, and there's a need to break free, right? And this is saying, hey, I'm going to be breaking free. There is some type of mental entrapment here. And so I do think somebody here is being called to see past an illusion. I do feel there is a major struggle with your intuition, though, despite all of these light codes coming in. And so intuition is not logical. So if you're spending too much time overthinking or looping round and round in your mind, drop into the heart, because there may be a resistance going on here connected to a major spiritual awakening. I do think there's going to be like a sudden breakthrough happening. That's really what this is feeling like. And so I think you're maybe starting to see past the fears, past the limitations. At least I'm hoping you are. So let's talk about this middle row, because we do get the Six of Pentacles upright, the central energy of this reading. We get the King of Wands in reverse. And so we get that fiery energy. And then following that King of Wands in reverse, you can see on the card, we got the Knight of Wands in reverse. And so what I want to say is there is a very prominent energy coming through as the central theme, as the focal point. I want to say misuse of power. I do want to say misuse of power, maybe because somebody here is lacking confidence. There could be some arrogance here, or even just a sense of feeling disempowered. But the Six of Pentacles is calling for balance. It's calling for reciprocity, equal giving and receiving. And I think the energy is feeling quite impulsive here with the Knight of Wands in reverse, almost like a lack of direction. I want to say burnout after a reckless decision. And so I do feel somebody here is facing some issues here. Somebody here's got some issues here, and I do feel it's this King of Wands. It doesn't have to be an Aries, Leo, Sag, but it is a king. It is a masculine energy on the card. And I don't know if somebody is having power and control issues, or if they're doubting their ability to step into their purpose. Or I don't know if you're dealing with an external figure who maybe is controlling, manipulative, or operating from their ego rather than a place of higher wisdom. But I feel there is balance here that is needed. I do feel balance here is needed with the Six of Pentacles. Maybe there's an imbalance here of what you give versus what it is you're receiving, whether it's relationships or career or even energetically. There's a need to kind of look at that, because I do feel a deep sense of restlessness. I do feel a deep sense of frustration with the Knight of Wands in reverse. And it's almost like, hey, the King of Wands is supposed to be a visionary leader. And so I don't know if there's like big visions here coming through, but maybe there's a lack of direction, right? There could be a lack of direction here, or even like a lack of follow through, because that Knight of Wands isn't very permanent when it comes to energies. And there could be, what I want to say is like, I just feel this middle row is saying, there's an energy indicating repeating old patterns of impulsive decision making or chasing. I don't know if there's like a running chasing dynamic, playing out here in the energies, but I do think there's a past life karmic cycle here where maybe you had misused your power or you were stripped of your power, and now there could be some fear of reclaiming it. Let's talk about this bottom row. We get the Five of Pentacles in reverse, and so this really is saying recover from loss. I don't know if somebody is learning to overcome even a scarcity mindset, but with the Star in reverse, it's like somebody here doesn't have the faith, or they're feeling so disconnected from the divine guidance, even though it's coming in abundance. But I feel this feeling, this energy of hopelessness. And then the last card out is this Queen of Cups in reversed. And so there's an emotional imbalance here. I don't know if it's this queen that is suppressing her intuition, but what I feel is there is now a feminine energy coming through that is really in this energy of self-neglect. I want to actually say self-neglect. And so I just feel this bottom row really is revealing a feminine that is tied to some deep emotional struggles, likely feeling unsupported or disconnected in a partnership, and possibly even, I want to say, like emotionally drained. But there is recovery here coming through. And so I don't know if there's a feminine feeling disconnected from her guides and her gifts, or even just this energy of emotional overwhelm by a current situation here, but it's feeling pretty heavy. It's feeling pretty heavy. And so let's talk about the bottom of the deck, because we do get this Death card in reverse, which is upright, pardon me, upright, Death card upright. There's an ending. There's a rebirth, there's a shedding, there's a major transformation. And I do believe tomorrow we have Lilith moving from Libra into Scorpio. And if that doesn't scream death and shedding, I don't know what does. But there's a conflict here. There's an ego battle. I don't know if there's self-sabotaging behaviors. But the Five of Swords is manipulation. It's this energy of like, I don't care. I'm going to win at all costs, even if I bring myself down in the process. And so I don't know if somebody here has been ignoring their inner wisdom, or refusing a period of introspection. We've got the Virgo energy, we've got the Hermit coming out in reverse, but either way, I just feel there's a situation here. It feels painful. It almost feels a little bit disorienting, and there's a conflict, right? The Five of Swords is a huge indication of a conflict, whether it's an internal battle with your ego or resistance to walking away from a cycle that needs to kind of complete. And somebody here is definitely ignoring the call. And so I think there's going to be a conflict with somebody here. I have no doubt about that, but I feel somebody here is definitely being called into this spiritual initiation to clear some karma. I feel there could be a separation. It kind of feels like two people here aren't on the same page. And I do feel a need to break free here with this Eight of Swords in reverse. There's a need to break free. I want you to know there's a deep karmic wound here. And I do think it's around leadership or a spiritual authority figure, especially with this King of Wands in the reversed energy. And I heard retrograde. So I do feel there's a deep karmic wound of scarcity mindset, old patterns, self-sabotage, emotional whelm. And there's a transformation here. I feel it is inevitable. And so resisting it, I want to say, is only going to prolong the discomfort. It's only going to prolong this shift that I feel is inevitable. There is like this soul level shift here happening. And so I don't think this is just a passing phase. I do think there's somebody here, I want to say, breaking free from lifetimes of karmic patterns here. And maybe you've repeated this karmic pattern over and over again with the same person throughout lifetimes. But we're at a pivot point, right? You're at a major pivot point here. And so there's a lesson, I want to say, unfolding. And this is about living consciously, right? And so I do think this is about reclaiming your personal power. True power comes from wisdom and not control, right? And so there's a need to make a decision. You're not meant to stay small. Trust the process, because your soul already knows the way forward here. And so this is about choosing to live life consciously. And so we can keep repeating the same patterns and asking ourselves, why does this keep happening? Or we can choose differently, right? You can choose differently for your life. What do we got on the bottom of the deck? new outlook. So I don't know if I'm talking to a Pisces. We do get Pisces on the board. We get fire energy. We do have Aquarian energy. But sometimes we can't see things for what they are, right? Because we've got those rose-colored glasses on. And so maybe it's time to examine a situation from another angle and to see things differently. And self-care is going to be needed, right? There's somebody here that is lacking self-care. And so this is an energy of practicing what it is that you want to create, because this, I feel, has been made manifest by you in order to trigger some type of remembrance of who you are. So trust the process. Trust the process. That's what I've got for a message today.